Thank you for tuning into this interview. I am Eleen Meleng, the Content Director of Modern DevOps Sydney. I have here with me Eliza from ANZ. Before we dive into the topic, Eliza, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Pleasure to meet you, Eleen. So my name is Eliza. I currently hold the position of Senior Technical Lead in ANZ, have experience in various parts of IT, but now at the moment I primarily focus on infrastructure security.
All right. Thanks, Eliza. Let's dive into the topic, shall we? Right.
Absolutely.
So my first question for you would be, what are some of the key challenges you have encountered while implementing application security AppSec programs? And what strategies have you found the most effective in overcoming these challenges to enhance the effectiveness of the program?
Absolutely. Look, I think I'll start with probably how we fix them, and you'll see how I go. Hopefully it will make more sense. Look, I kind of always, no matter in which company I go to, I always keep OWASP Top 10 as my reference guide for the AppSec vulnerabilities initiatives, everything for the AppSec program. And they actually have a pretty good, like a base basic how to start with an AppSec program. I think everyone should go and have a look. And pretty much what they say is stage one is identify your gaps. Absolutely agree. And the companies that I worked for before, this step would be more or less fine. Like most of the time, people can see the gaps pretty easily. The problem comes when they try to set the goals. It tend to go either too broad or too narrow, and that's where all the problem begins. I think staying on track, it's a bit of a difficult thing. It's a human thing. I don't think there is a cure for that, but training to stay on track, training to stay on those gaps, it's important. And then obviously there are other stages like planning for a paved road, which pretty much means try to create your blueprints, your templates, identify what are the checks and whistles you would like to have. And this is very important when we talk about, creating the paved road, which is, I think, stage 3. It's important that multiple teams work together. There is no one team deciding for another which tooling is going to be used. There is no one team deciding which process and everything. I think ultimately to reach the maturity that is required for the company, all the teams need to work together. All the teams need to have the same understanding of where they're moving. And reaching that goal is not as easy as it may sound. I'm sure we're all aware that some teams may have, security team is always considered a bad guy in the team. Like, I disagree with the statement. I think it's just reassuring the security team that we are taking it seriously. We're going to be working with you, and we are the same team. That's definitely extremely important. But yeah, and then they also touch on migrating all of the existing applications and upcoming, and the fast iterative cycle, fast fail. It's pretty much what DevSecOps is about, right? You fast fail, you fast fix. This is how you increase the maturity. I think without going into too much details, I think those are the most critical challenges that I've seen, and some of the resolutions that I could come up with.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And how do you approach the implementation of secure CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines within your organization?
I'll not be talking specifically about ANZ. I'll just probably summarize some of the learnings from all the experiences. I think in order for you to implement a secure CI/CD, it's not tooling. It's more about what is your release management? Where are the artifacts stored? How do you create the releases? What is the model for that? I think this is an important piece that I've seen many teams or many companies, they kind of put it at the back burner, and then once they select the tooling, once they kind of created a somewhat working CI/CD, they
Yep.
start going back to that and retrofit, and it creates a lot of tech debt. I think the most important bit is think first about management of the artifacts, how they're going to be provisioned. That's already a very good start. And then obviously we can start integrating tools like, secrets management. Let's don't store plain texts, secrets. It's already, we should not be even talking about it, but history shows that it's still a very hard topic. Um, Software composition, so SCAs with SBOM management. Apologies, I'm just bombarding you with all those acronyms, but it's the security industry. What can you do, right? I think it's important, very important, to keep your open source tooling in check, considering that the majority of the applications, banking, non-banking, they all are created with some aspect of open source tooling. So it's really critical. And then, of course, don't click ops. Don't do click ops. Do the infrastructure as code. Use Terraform. Use, I don't know, Crossplane, whatever is more preferable for your company. But yeah, please try and avoid click ops as much as possible. Again, we're all humans. We do have flaws in our systems. We get tired. So let's just get away from that as much as possible.
Yeah, interesting. So, in your experience, what engineering practices have you found to be most beneficial in enabling the scalability of DevSecOps processes? And how do you balance the need for scalability with the evolving needs of modern software development, particularly in terms of security considerations?
Yes, scalability is it's a hard topic because I
Mm-hmm.
think I've seen many attempts at different programs thinking about scalability first thing. I think it's amazing. What it comes to is the skills level. Not going to lie,
Mm-hmm.
skills level within your company, you're always going to be as strong as the weakest person in your company.
Yep.
So I think obviously investing time in education and upskilling of your engineers, and I'm not talking about, primarily platform application. I'm talking about security engineers, security architects, architects in general. Actually, also leadership as well. They need to understand. I'm not saying they need to have a bachelor of computer science, but understand certain aspects and technicalities. Of the particular technical problems that can occur. But once, let's say, you've done the training, all of you engineers understand that you need to follow, you need to be pretty agile. Don't be afraid to fail. That's the most important thing. I think many companies, especially looking at the different news, there is a very big fear that, oh my god, we'll fail. We rather go back to a waterfall like model
Yeah.
and get it all right rather than fast, iterate fast, deploy, deploy, deploy. I think we need to have a culture where people can fail, where people can fix, where
Mm-hmm.
people are dedicated to be better and improving. um, I think this is the most important in having scalability. And then, of course, once you have this culture, you can start creating communities. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, within ANZ, what I can say is we have certain communities that are heavily invested in security aspect of our tooling, of our templates, of blueprints, and it definitely helps. It's from different areas. It's not only from the core banking and you name it. So yeah, I would say having culture, training, blueprints, templates, and then polished CI/CD. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is the key aspects of having scalable AppSec program. And of course, you need to keep assessing the maturity. I'm not saying maybe not every year, but there are different frameworks. that can help you assess the maturity within your company. And
Mhm.
again, identify the gaps, flaws, and you iterate pretty much constantly on that.
Yeah, interesting. So thank you, Eliza, for sharing your expertise and insight. Our discussion delved into various aspects of implementing AppSec programs, secure CI/CD, CI/CD pipelines, and engineering practices for scalable DevSecOps processes. Thank you for joining us in this engaging conversation. I am Eleen Meleng, the Content Director of Modern DevOps Sydney. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussion on the intersection of technology, security, and innovation.
Thank you.